Good morning, Shreyas. Good morning, Elroy. Good morning, Prajot. No, not up to 31st July. Up to 31st July. Whatever we have considered till 31st July, you can study only that much. Okay, let's recap. Akshay, I'm ready to consider both the months. Okay, well, let's consider from 1st June to 31st July. Right.
Thank you, Akshay.
Okay, let's recap what we have gone through in yesterday's session. So we have considered Maurya period, right, which is from 322 BC to 185 BC. So the sources of the Mauryan history divided into two categories, rather as like every source of history, right, which is always being considered as the literary sources and the archaeological sources. Likewise, the Maurya period was also studied by these different sources. So first source is literary sources, which was further divided into different sources, right, called Kautilya's Arthashastra. Fine. Then the in the Kautilya's Arthashastra, you can have the in literary sources, the very first one is Kautilya's Arthashastra. Fine. So here you will be having the details of that particular Arthashastra. So it's a treatise on government and quality. So it gives clear and methodological analysis of political and economic conditions, right? So then another case you can consider is the Megasthenes Indica. So Megasthenes have written Indica as Kautilya had written the Arthashastra as like, right? So in Megasthenes Indica, you can come to know about the Mauryan administration. So Indica refers to Mauryan administration. And the reason behind this is the Megasthenes was the ambassador of Seleucus Nicator in the court of Chandragupta Maurya. So whatever he had written, obviously it must be related to the Mauryan administration. Fine. So that is the case you can consider. The next part is Vishakadatta's Mudra Rakshas. Right, Vishakadatta's Mudra Rakshas. So in this case, the Mudra Rakshas gives an excellent account of the prevailing socio-economic conditions during the Mauryan period. Fine. So that is what you can always again consider in that. Then later on, there had been Buddhist literature, right, as Zakatas, which reveal general picture of socio-economic conditions. Dipvamsha and Mahavamsha, which are what we can consider, which are considered as the part Dipvamsha and Mahavamsha. So where the part played by Ashoka in spreading Buddhism in Sri Lanka is considered. Fine. Then the later on is Tibetan text, where Divyavadana is considered. Right. So in Divyavadana, the Divyavadana gives information about Ashoka and his efforts to spread Buddhism. Then later on, we have considered the archaeological sources. Next, the second part of the historical sources is the archaeological sources. So in archaeological sources, if you consider, so there have been Ashokan edicts and the inscriptions. Ashokan edicts and inscriptions. So the Ashokan edicts and inscriptions, you can consider here as the rock edicts, pillar edicts, and cave inscriptions. Right. So these are the three different kinds as far as Ashokan edicts and inscriptions. Further, other inscriptions were there called Junagadh rock inscription at Rudraman, right? Rudradaman. Then copper plate inscription at Gorakhpur, Mahasthan inscription at Bogra district in Bangladesh. Then there had been the what we can consider, there had been the material remains, right? So these material remains in which we can have the wooden places, right? So wooden places of Chandragupta Maurya. Then the copper punch marked coins, copper punch marked coins, origin of Mauryas. Later on we have gone for. So according to Puranas, right, according to Puranas, you have, according to Puranas, the Mauryas were Shudras, right? Mauryas were Shudras. And then latter part you have considered is Mudra Rakshas. So according to Mudra Rakshas, the Mauryans were Kulina, and that is of low clan. Some of the classical writers are saying that the Chandragupta Maurya was the man of humble origin. Junagadh rock inscription indicated that Mauryans were Vaishya. Buddhist work suggests that, or links Mauryan to Sakya, Kshatriya clan. Overall, in conclusion, Mauryas belonged to Maurya tribe and certainly of low caste, right? And certainly of low caste. So this is what you can consider. So we have started an actual looking into the rulers of Maurya period. So very first ruler, Chandragupta Maurya, who had been from 322 BC to 298 BC. So he dethroned Dhanananda and occupied Patliputra in 322 BC. He defeated Saligas Nicator, right, in 305 BC. according to a treaty, Hindu Kush had become boundary between the state of Seleucus Nicator and the state of Chandragupta Maurya. So he had become Jain and went to hills called Chandragiri Hills at Shravanbelgola in Karnataka. Under him, first time whole of the India had united. So the was flooded weights and made standardized. Money came into use. Taxation, sanitation, and famine relief became concern of the state. The next ruler in this period was Bindusar, who was followed or succeeded Chandragupta. Right, so Bindusar was his son, right, which was succeeded by his son Ashoka. So under Ashoka, Mauryan Empire reached to its climax. So whole of the subcontinent was under imperial control. So Ashoka fought Kalinga War in 261 BC and incorporated it into his empire. Rather, he had changed the ruler of that from the same family. So he sent missionaries to kingdoms of Cholas and Pandyas and 5 states ruled by Greek kings: Syria, Egypt, Macedonia, Cyrene, and Epirus. He had also sent the missionaries to Sri Lanka, Burma, and some parts of Southeast Asia. And I was talking about his Dhamma. Right? As I said that he was not regarded as, or he cannot regarded as sectarian. Right? So his Dhamma cannot be regarded as sectarian. That means what? Whatever the Ashoka's Dhamma will not be considered as one of the sect. Right? So, but it had a broad objective. Right? So its broad objective was to preserve the social order. So his Dhamma was not sectarian faith. Right? Sect? Fine. Okay, pantha nahi kutla. But the broad objective of it is broad objective of whatever Dhamma, right, was to preserve the social order. Right. So in order, he ordered that people should obey. That in which he ordered that people should obey their parents. बघा राजाला शिकवायची वेळ आली होती. Nowadays everyone is being for this one. Pay respect to Brahmanas. Pay respect to Brahmanas means what? Teachers. And obviously, and Buddhist monk. And Buddhist monk. Show mercy to slaves. Show दया असली पाहिजे. Mercy to कणव असली पाहिजे. Slaves and servants. He held that if people behaved well, they would attain Swarga. Right? So he did never say that they would attain Nirvana, which was the goal of Buddhist. What is Dhamma is being considered, right? So it was not a sect. That is If you understand that whatever his dhamma, it was not a sect, that is more than enough. Fine. This is what you can consider about the Ashokas. Now, next part comes in, obviously, that will be okay. So that will be the latter Mauryas. Okay. So after Ashoka, there had been some of the Mauryas. Right. So latter Mauryas from a period of 232 BC to 185 BC. 232 BC to 185 BC. Right. So this is what you can always consider. Got it? Now, the Mauryan dynasty lasted for overall 137 years. So Ashoka's death was followed by the division of Mauryan Empire into two different parts called Western and Eastern. So the Western part came to be ruled by Kunal, who was the son of Ashoka, and Eastern part came to be ruled by Dashrath. Right? It was ruled by Dashrath. So Kunal and Dashrath were started looking into two different parts after Ashoka's death. The last case is Brihadrath, right, who was assassinated in 185 BC by his commander-in-chief called Pushyamitra Sangha, and who established his own dynasty called Sangha dynasty. Right, that we will be considering later on. But now, what were the causes for the decline of Mauryan period, right, or why the Mauryan dynasty had declined? Right. So there had been highly centralized administration. Right. Who said this? Romila Thapar says that. So Romila, according to the writing or the studies of Romila Thapar, highly administration had been there. The Pacific policy of Ashoka. Right. Rai Chaudhary saying that the Pacific policy of Ashoka. Then Brahminical reaction. Right. Brahminical reaction. According to H.P. Shastri, right, the Brahminical reaction is being there. Then the partition of Mauryan Empire, right, that has also declined the Maurya Empire. Then weak latter Mauryan rulers. In fact, this is the main reason, right? The weak rulers or the latter rulers of Mauryas. Pressure on Mauryan economy, right? Pressure on Mauryan economy. Then neglect of northwest frontier. So these are some of the reasons why the Mauryan dynasty had weakened or the declined. Right. So in latter Mauryas, so after Ashoka, Mauryan Empire divided into two parts. Right. So as Western and Eastern. So Western was looked up by Kunal, and Eastern was looked up by Dashrath. Eastern was looked up by Dashrath. Right. And in this case, by his commander in chief. His commander in chief called Pushyamitra. Sangha. Keep in mind, we'll be considering this part later on, right? In 185 BC. In 185 BC, right? So it had led to decline. So causes of decline. Causes of decline. So obviously, very first cause is highly centralized administration. Second is Pacific policy of Ashoka. Pacific policy of Ashoka. Another reason, Brahmanical reaction. Brahmanical reaction. Fine. If anybody wants, you can have this. Done. Then next cause. Okay, I thought that why someone is not asking the what is meaning of the Pacific policy, right? Okay, good. So I think somewhere I said that, right? Ashoka was right, what you can conceive. So I think yesterday I have told that this particular point. So he did not perceive the policy of, right, policy of peace for peace, right? Policy of peace for the sake of peace under all the conditions, right? He was not of that kind of nature, right? So whatever you can consider, fine. So this is what the okay, sorry. Okay. So Pacific meaning stands for not a peaceful character, right? So that was the that was the part. Then the next point is the partition of Mauryan Empire. Obviously, it was partition of Mauryan Empire. Next was the weak latter Mauryan rulers. weak, later Mauryan rulers. Right. Weak Latin Mauryan rulers. The pressure on Mauryan economy. Right. Pressure on Mauryan economy. And obviously neglect of northwest frontier. So these were some of the reasons why the Maurya dynasty or Mauryans decline northwest frontier. Fine. So now you can consider here different aspects. Right. So what kind of administration was there? That is called Mauryan administration. Right. Mauryan administration. Now, in this Mauryan administration, the king, right? Then there is the Mantri Parishad, right? So the Mauryan government was centralized bureaucracy, of which the nucleus was always the king. So according to Kautilya's Arthashastra, there are 7 elements of states, right? As Raja, Amatya, Janpad, Durga, Kosh, Sena, and Mitra. So the king was regarded as the soul among all the 7 elements of the state. Right? King was regarded as the soul of the state. Then there is Mantri Parishad. So the king was assisted by Mantri Parishad, whose members include Yuvraj, that is the crown prince, Purohit, the chief of the priest, Senapati, a commander-in-chief, and a few other ministers. Right. So his administration was consisting the king. Then there had been the provincial administration. Right. There had been provincial administration. So according to Junagadh Rock Edict, right, of Rudradaman, Saurashtra was governed by Pushyagupta. So the Vaishya at the time of Chandragupta Maurya, and by the Yavan king Tushaspa at the time of Ashoka. Right. So if you consider the provincial administration, so there had been Uttarpat, called Northern Province, whose capital was at Takshashila, right, or Takshila. Avanti Rashtra, which is Western Province at Ujjain. Prachi, Eastern and Central Province, Patliputra. Kalinga, Eastern Province, Toshali. Right. Dakshinapat, that is Southern Province, Suvarnagiri. So provincial administration was there. Further, municipal administration was there. So Kautilya devotes a full chapter to the rules of the Nagarak. Nagarak stands for the city superintendent. So his chief duty was to maintain the law and order in the Nagara. Right. The chief duty of the Nagarak was to maintain the law and order. Megasthenes' account of system, right, what Megasthenes is considering about municipal administration. So 6 committees of 5 members each and their functions. So he had industrial art, entertainment of foreigners, registration and birth of deaths, trade and commerce, public scale and manufactured goods, collection of taxes and the articles. Right. So this is what the Megasthenes is saying in his Indica. Then administration through the point of view of army. Right. So the most striking feature of Mauryan administration was the maintenance of huge army. They had also maintained navy as well. So according to Megasthenes, The administration of army was carried by a board of 30 officers, divided into again in 6 different committees. So Megasthenes is more clearly revealing the details. So these 6 different committees were infantry, cavalry, elephants, chariots, navy, and transport. So in the Mauryan period, there were 2 types of uh, detectives called stationary and wandering, right? Sansthan and Sanchari. So this was what we can consider as far as administration of Mauryan is concerned, right? So administration was having different parts. So very first, as I consider as central administration, which will be looked up by king, right? Not only king, he will be always associated. So central administration, that is the king, right? So the king was nucleus. The king was nucleus. Fine. And there had been 7 elements of, there are 7 elements, right? So 7 elements of state. 7 elements of state, right? So what these are the 7 elements? Who said this? Kautilya's Arthashastra says this, right? So Raja, king, Amatya. What is Amatya? Anybody? Janpad. Right. So Janpad is territory. It must be well-defined territory. Then Durga. Most of you must be knowing it. Fort. Kosh. What is Kosh? Is there anybody who is attending this session? Fine. So I will tell you. Amatya stands for the secretary, right? Amatya stands for secretary. Kosh stands for treasure. The treasure. Sena, that is army. And Mitra. So Chanakya had to consider Mitra, friend. Fine. So, and in this case, the king was nucleus, right? Or you can consider soul of the state. Fine. There had been Mantri Parishad as well. Mantri Parishad. Mantri Parishad. Right. So Mantri Parishad included 3 things: the Yuvraj, then the Purohit, right? So what is Purohit? You know, the cheap priced, and the Senapati, and the Senapati. Fine. So the commander in chief. And later on, you can consider one more point, that is other. Okay, I will write few other ministers.